Pick Six Podcast with your hosts, Larry Kaczynski and Danny Waiter. Get ready for some action. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pick Six Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Larry Kaczynski.
And Danny Waiter.
And before we get into today's festivities over this pretty crazy week, we do have what I like to call in my other podcast a sad. And what I mean by that, like if we have a celebrity death or something like that, that's really definitely newsworthy. We discuss it. This is on a personal level. Danny and I lost a close friend Saturday night. Her name is Robin Wetzel, and we're going to dedicate this episode to her. She passed away Saturday night with a long battle of cancer. So hop on over to Facebook. On her Facebook is Robin Wetzel. Send her and their family some love. I know Phil's crushed, her husband of 20 years. And I don't like to discuss really bad things, but, you know, I mean, it's the way it is. And so I'm wishing the Wetzel family nothing but the best. She was an amazing woman, funny as shit. I mean, we could be having the worst day at work, and she'd make you laugh, you know, of anything. And just her goofiness, you know. And I really miss her. She left the company we used to work at. I don't want to say it was about 3 years ago when she started getting sick, and yeah, it's a bummer, but you know, we just want to say rest in peace to Robin Wetzel, and you know, just send prayers and love to her, and yeah. So, is there anything you'd like to say on that situation?
Yep, she definitely made an impact in a lot of people's lives. I won't really take down the place I used to work at, but there'd be a lot of times where, you know, a lot of things weren't going right and a lot of things were wrong, and she would still be that one bright spot. She would still, like Larry said, she would still make you laugh. She would still make you smile. She'd still, you know, no matter what she was dealing with, she was making sure everyone else was okay. You know, and everyone loved her from the top to bottom. Everyone loved her. And it was sad to see her, you know, leave Pelzer, but, you know, she had to do it for her own health. And unfortunately, you know, the big bad monster finally took her, but the thing is how she carried herself and how she lived. It didn't beat her. She beat it. And right now, she's better because she didn't lose her battle. She won her battle.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, it's a little choking up going on here, but, you know, what can you do? So, yeah, rest in peace, Robin. We're gonna miss the hell out of you, and I wish Phil could hear this. He's not on social media, unfortunately. I tried looking for him so I could send my condolences, but unfortunately, I can't find him. I can't get a hold of him because I really want to talk to him, see how he's holding up. But yeah, like I said, you guys out there, you know, cancer is no joke. Love the ones you're with. Love your family. We're all about peace and love here. You know, it's just a really sad day for both of us and many other people on Facebook. So, any of y'all listen on this, hop on over to Facebook, send Robin Wetzel some love again, and the family. Again, it's Wetzel, and yeah, so rest in peace, Robin, we're going to miss you. So, all right, now that the sad is out of the way, what a week. What a week. A lot of things. Well, not really a lot of things. We're basic. I really don't want to go into too much detail on talking about certain things because, you know, we've been pretty partial since we started this podcast. We're trying to spread it out, but I think on this episode, I really don't have much to talk about news-wise. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna recap week 4 and do our picks for next week, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to finally have a discussion about the Lions, because we haven't really talked about them because we've been splitting it, throughout the NFL, but a lot of things, I mean, nothing really this week really stood out. There's a couple things that we'll touch up on as we're reading the scores, and some little factoids here and there, and then we'll get into our picks for next week, and then we'll talk about the Lions. So let's just quickly run through. Of course, Thursday night we had the Eagles over the Packers, 34-27, which was actually a well-played game. I like the way both teams looked, actually. And Philadelphia is now 5-0 on Thursday primetime games under Doug Peterson. So there you go. That's pretty sweet. Let's see. Next up, we have the Giants. Again, 2 in a row, beating the Redskins 24-3. Where is this guy coming from? I'm calling him Mr. Jones. Mr. Daniel Jones, right? He's the first Giants quarterback to win first 2 career starts since 1997. I think we're getting into Phil Simms territory still, I think, in 1997. I think. I'm not too sure about that, but I graduated high school that year. But, 2 years after I was born. Right. That shows you the age gap. Oh, God. The Chargers over the Dolphins, 30-10. Like, that's not a surprise. Miami has now the worst point differential through 4 games since, and this is what it says, since at least 1940. Wow. Wow. Since 1940.
They are sinking. This isn't even like, oh, well, they've given up. They're letting the fans come and play now. Like, they got rid of everybody. Like, I think Minka Fitzpatrick went to the Steelers, and he's already making an impact for them. And it's the Dolphins are just I don't understand. Like, I get when you're rebuilding, you're making moves and trying to plan for the future, but this, like, you don't have to tank this hard. The poor Dolphin fans, like, they have the number 1 pick already. It's simple. It literally, the NFL draft, they can pick anybody they want right now, and they can have them play right now. That's how bad they're, like, sinking. And why are they sinking so bad? It doesn't make any sense. I'm still baffled that they even got rid of Kiko Alonso. Like, of all people, he is literally the favorite guy in Miami. Why? Kiko Alonso. Like, that's a fun name to say. And it just, if you're a Miami fan, I apologize. And you can come over. I'll have some hot chocolate, and we can watch some movies together to feel better. Because I feel really bad for them right now.
Oh, man, hot chocolate. In Miami. I have to say, I mean, it's not that they're reconstructing or they're rebuilding. They're deconstructing. They're not doing anything to make themselves better here. I mean, they literally have 7 or 8 picks in the first round alone already. So I mean, I wish I could say I feel bad for them. I don't, because we know their pain for going 0-16 in 2008. So, but I understand. I don't. I wish I could say I feel bad for them, but I don't.
The reason why I feel bad is because, at least for the Lions going 0-16, they actually made some pretty fun games out of it. Right now, the Dolphins are just getting smacked. Okay, so I feel bad for the fans because there's no, like, they might win this game. No, it's how bad are we going to get blown out this game? It's like my old high school, right?
Same here. They're, like I said, they're not constructing anything. They're literally throwing this team away, and you're for the next 2-3 years, you're going to see new players come and go. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around this. This is just total deconstruction. I mean, okay, fine. Okay, Miami, I feel bad for you.
The fans, not the team, the fans. The fans, like I said, they're just getting blown out, okay? And none of the teams have even, like, really tried. Like, the Cowboys, they didn't even try. The Patriots, they didn't even try. Who else did they lose to? Doesn't matter. They didn't even try. You know, the Dolphins aren't even trying. They're just taking a nap on the field. So, Dolphin fans, hot chocolate.
You know, I mean, honestly, I've been saying this too with when the Lions were in their skid too. They need to boycott the Miami Dolphins. They need a boycott. They need to start saying, "Hey, we're not going to come to your games anymore." I mean, I don't know why they're still going. I mean, I kind of do because the Lions fans did the same thing. Even though we went 0-16, we were still selling out, but for different reasons. Like for me personally, that last game of the season, we were at home. I don't remember who we were playing, but that place was sold out just to see them lose. But it's funny, but it's true. But anyway, moving on, the Raiders over the Colts. That was another close one, 31-24. What was his name? Tyler Jacobs. The Raiders, I think. But he has 307 rushing yards through the first 4 games. That is a Oakland Raider record.
Oh, that's
Josh Jacobs. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
First round. I think he was maybe one of 2 running backs that was picked in the first round. And there's the reason why right there. He's fast. He's not really big, but he's strong.
That explains it. Where did I get Tyler Jacobs from?
I don't know. That's why
That name sounds I don't know why Tyler Jacobs. He sounds so familiar for some reason. But I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking about. But 307 rushing yards through 4 games. Better than Bo Jackson. Wow, that's unbelievable. I think the Raiders are like the Browns too right now. They're unpredictable. It's like one day they play good, next day they don't. Next week they play good, one week they don't. Like I said, they just need to find that consistency. And finally, the Panthers win one, 16-10 over the Texans. Another upset, in my opinion. The Panthers have 3 wins in the last 12 games, all Kyle Allen starts.
Okay, so it's not too surprising because Cam Newton is a phenomenal talent, but just like Andrew Luck, his body's going to give out because of the tremendous talent he has. You know, that's why he's out right now with a foot or ankle injury. But, okay, so for some reason, we're starting to see all these backup quarterbacks, all these late round draft picks, early round draft picks. Now we just need Drew Lock to come up now and take Joe Flacco's spot because Gardner Minshew, Kyle Allen, Kyle Rudolph. Who else is out there? Teddy Bridgewater. What other? Daniel Jones. You know, all these backups, all these late. And Daniel Jones is the one, first round draft pick right now that's actually starting. That are just doing phenomenal. Like Kyle Rudolph, he just won against the Bengals today. And, of course it's just the Bengals, but you think about it, Ben Roethlisberger goes down, you're thinking that you're just going to get blown out like the Dolphins, and yet he's kept them in games, and he's, I think, a 6th round, rookie quarterback. And then you got Gardner Minshew, who, I think, what is it for Napoleon Dynamite? Uncle Rico or something? Yeah. You got Uncle Rico in the NFL, and he's killing it with the Jaguars. He's filling in with... Anyway, it's just, for some reason, it's like every backup that's getting a chance is just doing phenomenal. So, Denver Broncos, Drew Lock. Please play him. Please. Joe Flacco was not the answer in Baltimore, and he is not the answer for you guys. So please. Drew Lock.
I totally agree 100%, dude. Oh, my God. Next up, we have the Patriots and the Bills. Patriots barely squeaking this one out, man. I thought the Bills were going to have it, but the Patriots go 4-0. 16-10. Tom Brady is now 16-2 in his career as a starter at New Era Field. Go fuck yourself. The Bills, man. I'm telling you, like I said in our first episode, the Bills are gonna go to the playoffs this year, but unfortunately they're not gonna be able to pass the Patriots, obviously. But anyway, yeah, they played very, very well. I thought the Bills were actually gonna pull it off, but unfortunately that was not the case. The Patriots get lucky yet again. I know their defense is amazing. And here's one of the ones that was very surprising. The Browns over the Ravens, 40-25, all thanks to Nick Chubb and his 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is the first time Cleveland has won 2 games of this, or the first two road games. I'm sorry, first 2 road games of the season for the first time since 1994. Yeah, that's a biggie there. Holy shit!
2 consecutive? Like no, is it run?
No, it says here. It says Cleveland has won their first. This is the first time that the Cleveland Browns have won their first 2 road games of the season. For the first time, well, not 2 road games, not consecutive, but first 2 road or first. Bleh. It says here, yeah, they won their. Well, this is the first time they won their first 2 road games of the season for the first time since '94. Oh my God! But Nick Chubb, my God, he tore the Ravens D up, and holy shit!
They got so lucky picking him. Oh, that's all I got.
Oh, yeah, they definitely did. But wow, that one was the shocker of the week for me. Titans over the Falcons, 24-10. That's the first time a Titans receiver with 2+ reception touchdowns in a game since 2016. And here's the next one, folks. This is the shocker of the year so far, in my opinion. Look at it. Pull up the stats on this because I'm very interested to see what the hell happens. I only watched the highlights briefly, but holy shit. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers upsetting I keep wanting to say St. Louis. The Buccaneers upsetting the Rams 55-40. And this is now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a franchise record of scoring the most points ever in their history with 55 points. And now Danny's got some stats, and I'm going to hand it over to him because I'm curious to see what this is all about.
So I'll go by each quarter first and talk about the scoring. First quarter, Tampa Bay was 7. The Los Angeles Rams 0. Okay, early start, that's fine. Second quarter, 21 points scored by Tampa Bay, 17 by Los Angeles. Wow. That blows my mind. Third quarter, yet again, low scoring, a field goal apiece. And then, for some reason, it's the second quarter, whatever half they're in, 24 by Tampa Bay, 20 by Los Angeles. Okay? Like that, they literally went blow for blow. Okay? Jameis Winston, and this is the thing, I don't trust Jameis Winston, and I picked them to win this week just because I was like, you know what? Maybe Jameis Winston will show up. And he showed up. 28-41 for 385 yards, 4 touchdown passes to 1 interception compared to like 3 or 4 he had at the beginning of the year. Ronald Jones and Peyton Barber both had a touchdown each. They both didn't run really well, but they still ran it in for a touchdown. Chris Godwin had 172 yards receiving and 2 touchdown catches. I'm surprised Mike Evans didn't go over the 100-yard mark, but he still had a touchdown catch. The Tampa Bay defense had 3 interceptions, 2 sacks. Let's just go to the Rams part now. I have never seen this many attempts. Okay, this is the first that I'm looking at these stats. Okay, Jared Goff 45. Okay, completions to 68 attempts for 517 yards passing, 2 touchdown passes, but 3 interceptions. Okay, Todd Gurley, he only had 5 carries, but 2 of those were touchdown rushes. Okay, they had 2 receivers go over 100 yards, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had a touchdown, and I think it's Greg Everett had a touchdown. They had they only had 2 sacks and 1 interception. And guys, this is the NFC Championship team last year, okay? And for some reason, Jameis Winston wanted to show up for no reason. And I'm a stats guy, okay? And the stats aren't pretty for Jameis Winston, okay? Yeah, he can rack up yards. Yeah, he's got a few amount of touchdown passes, but his interceptions is horrifying. And yet, he shows that he can play as an elite quarterback. And, like this game, 28 for 41, 385 yards, and 4 passing touchdowns. I don't understand why he's so inconsistent. And then I don't understand why they threw the ball so much with Jared Goff. They only had 11 attempts rushing the ball the whole time. Wow. Okay, yeah. They are supposed to be a balanced team. Why is Jared Goff? And mind you, yeah, he has a lot of yards in this game, but he's not that type of quarterback. You're forcing him to throw the ball. Like, that's probably what Tampa Bay wanted to do, but I don't understand what Sean McVay was doing this game. Todd Gurley, only 5 carries. Mike Brown, only 5 carries. Cooper Kupp even had a carry. I don't understand it. Like, I understand you don't want Todd Gurley to have that big of a workload anymore. But man, 11. Okay, let's look at the Buccaneers, okay? Let's see, 19, 18, or 28, 29, 30. Okay, they had 19 more rushing attempts. Okay? Ronald Jones II had more rushing attempts than the Rams combined. Okay? And you have a perennial Pro Bowler in Todd Gurley. You have a great running back in Mike Brown. You even threw Cooper Kupp in there. I didn't mean to go on a tangent for this game, but 55-40 with the Bucs on top. Like I said, I picked them, but that does not make any sense in any reality, especially when you're talking about, and these are my last few things I'm going to talk about, especially with Jameis Winston at the helm and Jared Goff at the helm. It does not make any sense.
No, sir. And that's the thing. It's like, why all of a sudden did he now want to show up and play football? Where was this Tampa Bay team 3 weeks ago at the start of the season. Because if they would have played like this all the way through, they could have been 4-0 right now. And I don't know. Like I said, if Winston can be consistent like he was yesterday, dude, playoff team easily with the way they played. This one is definitely a mind boggler, and this one will stick in my head for a while. Like I said, if they can stay consistent like they did today, look out for Tampa Bay definitely down the stretch. We're going to move on. Next up, we have the Seahawks 27 over the Cardinals 10. 27, as I said, it's not getting any better for Arizona. Like I said before, Kyler Murray was all hype, and it's showing right now. Larry Fitzgerald now, though, becomes has the second most receptions in NFL history. So, way to go, Larry.
Unfortunately, he's never going to get first. I want to see Larry Fitzgerald because I wanted Calvin to be the guy to beat Jerry Rice's records, but he just got injured too much and he put too much of his heart and his body into the game. And then I wanted Larry Fitzgerald to be the guy that beat all of Jerry Rice's records, but you can't. Jerry Rice he practiced as if he wanted to live forever. He always ate healthy. He didn't do anything that would stop him or slow him down. Okay? Now that he's retired, whatever he wants, that's fine. But he was so disciplined with how he trained himself. That's why nobody will ever have his 2,000 receptions, 22,000 receiving yards, and it's over 200 touchdown catches.
Nope. Yeah, like I said, there's no way. I mean, even though he already talked about signing on for another 2 years, but I mean, even with the 2 years, I don't think he's gonna have enough to catch Jerry Rice. I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but because I loved Larry Fitzgerald ever since he first showed up in 2004. He's another one. You got Larry Fitzgerald, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Frank Gore, all these old timers are still kicking the shit out of the youngins. Still. And I love it. I love watching these old, well, not old, but my age, 41, and they're still in there killing it. The Jaguars scratching by against the Broncos, 26-24. Leonard Fournette, 225 rushing yards. Second most in Jaguars history. 200. I said it right, folks. This isn't college football. This is NFL. 225 rushing yards. Holy shit. The Bears over the Vikings 16-6. I watched that game and it was not a good game at all. It was ugly all around. Adam Thielen, 6 receiving yards. Fewest since 2016. It was just horrible. It was a very horrible game. Well, Kirk Cousins, yeah, absolutely. That's the Saints over the fucking Cowboys, barely 12-10. This is their first win without scoring a touchdown since Week 8 of 1998. What the hell is going on this year, guys? Seriously. Oh my God, I don't know what to say about this. Like, I just don't know. A Drew Brees-less New Orleans Saints are still managing to win. I don't understand it. And I'm saving the Lions game for last. Because we'll talk about that after our picks anyway. And finally tonight, the Steelers just decimated the Bengals, 27-3. It wasn't pretty at all. Even the Steelers with 27, they looked so weak. They're missing Ben Roethlisberger. So, I don't know. The Steelers have won 17 straight home games on Monday night. There's a nice little tidbit for you. But yeah, it was pretty. It was still a pretty bad game all around. And of course, the Chiefs over the Lions, 34-30. The Chiefs now have 11 straight wins in the month of September, but that was barely. Now, actually, I want to do something else really quick. I want to, back button. All right, here's what I'm going to do. We always talk, we always hear about which team could go undefeated and which teams could go 0-16. I want to do something here really quick before we get into our picks for next week. We currently, I'm going to give you a list of all the teams that are winless so far. Okay, starting with the AFC East, the Jets and the Dolphins. The Jets are 0-3. The Dolphins are 0-4. The Jets had a bye week. So we got the Jets, the Dolphins. In the AFC North, the Bengals 0-4. In the AFC West, the Broncos are 0-4. NFC East, the Redskins 0-4. And in the NFC West, Arizona 0-3-1. But here's the thing. Could this be, with the way how weird this season has gone, I have a feeling we're going to see more than one team go 0-16 this year. And I'm counting the Arizona tie as a loss. It's still going to be a winless season. So I can honestly say, out of this whole group, the Arizona Cardinals, the Miami Dolphins, and maybe even the Cincinnati Bengals, all three of those could possibly go 0-16 this year, I think. What do you think could happen here? Could you see more than one team going 0-16 this year?
I can see more than one team going 0-16. Now, I think it would have to be one NFC and one AFC because, we don't know the full schedules right now. And unless the beaten teams, like the defeated teams, that's technically the right term for, a team that is, winless would be a defeated team, whereas if a team is 4-0, then they'd be undefeated. But I would think it would have to be an NFC and one AFC team unless they tied. If the Dolphins and the Bengals faced each other, they would have to tie for one of them or for both of them to stay undefeated. And if they don't face each other, then yeah, they have every opportunity to be defeated. But the Dolphins are definitely an 0-16 team this year. Even if a team is going to the playoffs and they're sitting their best players, just because it's like, oh, it's the Dolphins, whatever. I still don't think the Dolphins can beat a team of backups. I really don't. I feel as if the Dolphins are 0-16. I feel the Redskins, maybe the Cardinals would be the next 0-16 team. I think they face each other at some point in the season. So I would have to say the Redskins just because they don't really have a defense. At least the Cardinals have Terrell Suggs with them. So eventually they might squeak out a win. I don't like Kyler Murray, but I like their defense. Their defense was really good. But yeah, I would say it would be the Dolphins and the Redskins because I love Ryan Kerrigan, but their quarterback situation sucks. Not that they don't have good quarterbacks. They're not fit for the team.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I said, the way this season's gone so far in the first 4 weeks, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw 2, possibly 3 teams 0-16 this year. I don't know. This has beaten my expectations of how weird this season was going to be when we first started doing this podcast. It has gone through the roof. This is just unbelievable. But the last thing I do need to talk about on how close to the. Let me look at this. This is the division. This is my okay. I'll give you my phone after I'm done here, so you can breeze through to what you think. But for me, the division to watch. This I've done this before, but I'm gonna make an update on it with the way things have been going. I'm gonna say the AFC South is definitely the conference to watch here because you have the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tennessee Titans, and they're all at 2-2. So yeah, that I'm definitely curious to see how this AFC South situation is going to play out because this is just going to be amazing. So you go ahead and you take a look and gander and take a look and see what division is your division to watch, and you cannot say the NFC North. That's a no-no. I'm not giving you the NFC North because even right now that's up in the air too with everything that's been going on.
I still don't see them being 0-16.
I don't think the Jets. No, I don't think the Jets will go 0-16 because Sam Darnold has been cleared. So Sam Darnold will be back. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week, but he'll be back. So with Sam Darnold back at the helm, I think they'll start rolling I think the Jets will start rolling after.
AFC North, nah, I wouldn't say them. AFC South, it's close, but AFC South, I wouldn't say that just because it is still early in the year, and they're all 2-2, and I highly doubt they're all going to end 8-8. So, I mean, stranger things have happened, but like a losing team with a 7-5 record went to the playoffs before because they were first in their division, which is crazy. But anyway, AFC West, not really. I think a team to watch in that is the Raiders, but I don't think the division itself is to watch. NFC North is pretty close, but then again, it's still early, and the Lions are just now about to face, not this week, but the following week. They're finally going to face an NFC North team. NFC South, not much. Oh, the NFC West, man, and those Niners, I really see them being a really good team right now. Nobody's really talking about them as if they're a real Super Bowl contender, but they could be. But I'm going to have to say the NFC East. Yes, they have the Redskins at 0-4, but you have the Cowboys who got dropped by the Saints. You have the Eagles who, won their first game, lost their next two, and then beat a pretty decent Packers team. You got the New York Giants who, with Daniel Jones, are all of a sudden coming to life.
Do you think that Daniel Jones could actually have what it takes to give the New York Giants a 10-6 record this season?
Absolutely. Especially if Saquon Barkley is back in the fold and he doesn't have to take. Because, hear me out, the first game he won, no Saquon Barkley. Second game he won, no Saquon Barkley. Okay? He made mistakes in his second game, but he still looked pretty decent. Imagine when Saquon Barkley comes back. Okay? All of a sudden, this team could potentially be an 11-5 team almost.
Interesting. Yeah, because that's the thing. Because there's Saquon Barkley-ish. Less. They don't. Let's try that again. They don't have Saquon Barkley for 4 to 6 weeks. So, I mean, with them being able to win without Saquon Barkley, yeah, absolutely. But the difference is, as it stands right now, they're 1-1 in their division. So that might end up hurting them, especially with the Cowboys and Eagles. But, I'm all for it. I mean, if anybody deserves a break besides us Lions and Miami, it's definitely the Giants. Because they've been in due for a while now as well. So, all right, so he's saying the NFC East. And I'm taking the AFC South. So, with that, we're going to go to our picks for next week. So, on a recap, this time, Danny ended up winning. Danny won 8-7, and I was 6-9. Damn it. So, as it stands right now, I am 1-2-1, and Danny is 2-1-1. All right.
I am the Lions.
Yeah. All right. So on to week 5. I know we have a London game, but I forgot which one it was. There's a game in London this week.
It's the Bears versus.
The Bears and the Raiders.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, Bears and the Raiders in London. For some reason, they didn't mark it down, and they still have it as. Where is it? They still have it on Sunday at 1:00. That doesn't make any sense to me because it should be in the morning, but I don't know. But anyway, on to week 5, where more chaos, I'm sure, is going to ensue. We have the Rams at the Seahawks on Thursday night. After seeing the Rams play the way they did Sunday, it was just so horrible. I don't know if they can come back from this one. So on this one, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks on this one over the Rams.
I'll have to agree with you because Russell Wilson always keeps them in games. He's like I wouldn't say he's the Matthew Stafford, but he's definitely the most important player. The Seahawks don't win games without Russell Wilson, just like the Lions don't win, games without Stafford. So I see the Seahawks pulling out this one, especially since I still don't understand why they didn't run the ball more. They have 2 excellent running backs, and they only ran it 11 times. Kerryon Johnson ran for 20 carries himself. Anyway, I picked the Seahawks.
Yep, absolutely. I'm in total agreement. Next up, it's a wash. Patriots at Redskins. I went with the Patriots, hands down. And unfortunately, their undefeated streak will continue. Like I said, I mean, if the Redskins could give Dwayne Haskins more attempts and more snaps, Dwayne Haskins has the potential of being a somebody. But unfortunately, it's with the wrong team. Just how I say with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. It's not getting the job done. They're with the wrong team. If they can find a good fit for Dwayne Haskins somewhere else, he'll be a better football player. He'll be a better quarterback. I don't see him fitting in with the Redskins. As I aforementioned last week, I really think that Dwayne Haskins is a better quarterback. It's just that I don't know what's going on in Washington right now. So, I mean, it's a lock. Patriots are going to be 5-0.
Patriots are going to be 4-1 in my pick. I'm going to go ahead and have an upset. I know I said a little bit ago that the Redskins could be 0-16, but because of how football is, and you can really never truly predict what team is going to win. And also, I'm kind of against the Patriots. I'm a little biased on that. And I love my guy Ryan Kerrigan on defense for the Redskins, so I'm picking the Redskins to win this one. Probably won't happen, so I got almost a guaranteed loss. But hey, we got another team we're going to talk about later about almost winning.
Nice segue. Oh, this one's actually going to be pretty close. We have the Bills at the Titans. The Titans are actually turning it around a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the Bills. I'm sticking with my Bills. I'm really digging them. I hope they can somehow figure out a way to dethrone the Patriots. It was a tough loss yesterday. They got one more crack at it. I hope they pull it off. I really want to see the Bills take the AFC East. I really do. So, yeah, I'm sticking by my Bills over the Titans.
I'm also picking the Bills You preemptively wrote that down.
I'm in your thoughts.
I know, right? We're just one. We are legion. Anyway, I'm picking the Bills just because Derrick Henry as a running back is phenomenal. He can change the game right away. But because I don't trust Derrick Henry for the Titans, I'm picking the Bills because they have a better defense, and I think they have a very well balanced offense. Surprisingly, with how much Josh Allen runs around, he can still sling the ball just like everyone else. So I got the Bills.
Alrighty. This one's a lock too. Ravens at Steelers. I'm going Ravens all the way. I mean, we really don't have to discuss every single game because it's the same thing. You know, Lamar Jackson's a stud. Always. I changing my mind here as I mentioned many times before that I thought for sure the Ravens were going to be in the cellar, and they're not. And they are playing some kick-ass football, and I'm actually sticking with the Ravens on this one.
Picking the Ravens as well. Now, they have gone on a 2-week losing streak, and the Steelers did pull off. It wasn't a good win, but they still got a win. And I almost picked the Steelers, but I also still think the Ravens just had a couple of bad weeks. They faced some actually pretty good teams, and so they're just like, you know what? Okay, so we got smacked a little bit, but we're gonna bounce right back. It's still early in the season. We only have 2 losses. We can only go up from here.
Interesting. Next up, we have the Jets and the Eagles. Sam Darnold has been cleared, but I think he's not coming back until week 6, I believe. Things might change when he comes back at the helm. So until then, I'm going against the Jets until Sam Darnold comes back. Maybe I might. Depends on what kind of condition he'll be in when he comes back. So I'm definitely going with the Eagles over the Jets. Eagles at home.
Same thing as well. Eagles, they got Carson Wentz. They got a great defense. I just don't see the Jets overcoming it.
Nope, not at all. And I'm debating on whether or not to make this my upset game, just for the fun of it. But I don't know. But this is definitely a game to watch. It's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to come out. As again in London, the Bears and the Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders on this one. I like what Gruden's doing. They're starting to fall into place. If they can just get that consistency, we possibly could see the Raiders of 2008 when they went to the Super Bowl. I see that as a possibility. I see the potential. Derek Carr's definitely turned it around. He definitely has done a 180 so far. He's playing a lot better. And just his supporting cast all around. So I'm actually finally going to go with Raider Nation on this over the Bears in London.
I'm going with the Raiders as well. Mainly because Mitch Trubisky is hurt. And Chase Daniels, the thing is, Nagy trusts Daniels more. He does not trust Trubisky with taking over an offense. Trubisky is athletic, but he's not an elite quarterback. He's not even a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. And, you can see it with the play calling. Like Chase Daniels, Nagy will let him call whatever plays he wants. But as soon as you get Trubisky trying to make all these different plays or whatever, he can't cut it like that. And so Nagy has to make plays specifically for him. But even if Trubisky was in there, I would still probably give the Raiders the win here. Khalil Mack, terrifying, but he can't transform an offense.
Nope. And unfortunately, like I said, I've mentioned it too that, again, with the right team, Mitchell Trubisky could be an elite quarterback. He has done a lot of great things for Chicago in the past couple of years, and now he's with him out now. I don't see him going anywhere. I think, I mean, not because of the injury, but I really believe that this perhaps might be Trubisky's last season in Chicago if they don't get the ball rolling again. I mean, granted what they did last year, but I don't see him staying there long enough. He needs to be able to make a name for himself, and he's just not doing it with Chicago. He's another one that needs to go somewhere else. Next up, we have the Vikings and the Giants. I am on board with Daniel Jones. I am digging this Giants team. I'm not digging the Vikings team whatsoever. They played good that first game. Their defense came out. They were just ripping ass. That caught my attention really quick. But just like the oceans, the tide has gone. The Vikings are playing like garbage, and it's the Giants' time to shine. The Giants are back, baby.
I'm picking that a lot of our picks are probably going to be the same right now, but I'm picking the Giants as well because the only consistent player for the Vikings is Dalvin Cook, who still leads the NFL in rushing. I knew he was going to be a beast. He was when he was a rookie, and then he got hurt, and then he got hurt his second year. And then this year, he's just showing exactly what he can do.
Absolutely. After seeing what transpired today, it's too late. I already wrote down my picks, but the Bucs and the Saints. After seeing Winston throw the way he did, this just blows my mind. I think the Bucs are going to win this one, but I have the Saints because 2 in a row. I mean, yeah, you barely squeaked them. But Teddy Bridgewater is actually not doing that bad of a job as Drew Brees' replacement, like we thought. So I wrote down the Saints already, but I do think the Bucs are going to pull it off because my God, if they play like they did yesterday, it might even be a wash. But I picked the Saints in this one because I already did my picks. But if it was different, if I was going on the fly, I would go with the Bucs. But I got the Saints.
I will pick the Buccaneers because it's so risky picking a team that has Jameis Winston. And because the past 2 weeks, he's shown that he can play well. So I'm going to pick them one more time. And if he shows me that, he can keep playing the way that he does, then I'm going to probably keep picking them, but it's a risky pick for this one because this is a good Saints defense, and we're going to have a real test of him in this game.
No doubt. Next up, we have the Falcons and the Texans. This one's a wash. Texans all the way. I don't know what's wrong with you, Falcons. You guys aren't listening to us. You guys need to listen to our podcast. As we mentioned in previous episodes, ever since the first episode, you guys need to turn it around. Get back into the 2017 Falcons, taking the AFC division, going to the Super Bowl. Where is that? You got the same damn team. What's going on over there in Atlanta, guys? What is going on in Atlanta? You got the same damn team. What is going on? Why can't you win games? But yeah, I think Texans are going to redeem themselves. This is a wash.
It's the defense for the Falcons, but I'm still picking the Falcons because they still have Julio. They still have Calvin Ridley. They still have a great tight end in Austin Hooper. They got good running backs. The problem is their defense. If they figure out their defense, then they become a playoff team again. And so I'm giving them the win because I think they figure out their defensive problems this week.
Well, they better figure something out because you're already going into week 5 and they still haven't figured it out yet. Next up, that's going to blow my whole theory on the 0-16s. We got a matchup of the unwinnables. The Cardinals and the Bengals. Yep. See, I should have read ahead. After seeing the Bengals I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals on this one. I think the Cardinals are actually gonna pull this one off. I don't see it. The Cincinnati Bengals only put up 3 points today. 3. A field goal. That's it. Against the Steelers, who, like I said, still is not great without Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben Roethlisberger's on the sidelines, coaching Rudolph, helping him out, getting his groove or whatever. But yeah, the Bengals just they have nothing. So I'm going with the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I think, are going to win their first game of the season.
I'm picking the Bengals because this is one of those, like the past few weeks, Larry has had throwaway games. I think this is a throwaway game. So I'm just kind of going with the Bengals just because the Cardinals, I don't know what happened with the Lions the first week. That was dumb. But regardless of that, they don't look anything like they're supposed to at all. They have such good players, and they should be 0-4 right now. They just look sad, And then even against the Lions, he had a bunch of passes batted down, and then I'm sure he probably had Kyler Murray has more passes batted down as well in these other games. And at least the Bengals, they know who they are, and that's a bad team. So at least they're not trying to be what they're not. The Cardinals are trying to act like they're some good team when they're really not. They have good players, but they're not a good team. So I give it to the Bengals.
Wouldn't it be fucking? Sorry, I'm trying to watch my language. Because that's another thing. Because on my other podcast, I have a foul mouth too. I'm trying to make it more family friendly. I'm trying not to swear as much. So I apologize. I'm trying not to swear. But wouldn't it be funny though if the Cardinals and Bengals tied? I'm just throwing it out there, ladies and gentlemen. It would be the funniest thing ever.
The first. That would be the first. Let me look it up.
It won't be the first because it was Pittsburgh and the Browns tied. You mean the same team tying? I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this. Are you talking about a team that had more than one tie in a season? Or what do you do?
There has never been a team with 2 ties in a season. I just quickly, did a little Google, but there have only been 3 seasons where there have been 2 ties in a season. Okay, this is 4 different teams. Yeah, 4 different teams that have tied in a season. Okay, if the Bengals and the Cardinals tie, oh my goodness, the Cardinals will be the first team in NFL history to have 2 ties in a season. It's not okay.
That's where I thought you were going. That's an interesting one. I was going to look at that myself, but that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it, if the Bengals and Cardinals tie? Oh, that would be funny. Next up, the Jaguars and the Panthers. A Cam Newton-less Panthers is playing. See, again, this second string shit is just, they're playing better. And this is what's making it think. I'm gonna go back on the Panthers bandwagon here because of Cam Newton not being. Why do I keep wanting to write my picks down when my picks are over in the corner? Yeah, I'm definitely back on the Panthers bandwagon without Cam Newton.
I got the Jaguars because, how can you go against Uncle Rico? That mustache. And he's a humble guy. He's just like, dude, we're just here to win. Okay? I come in, I throw the ball, and I hope we win. So we're going to do our best.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. It's the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Oh my God, Minshew and I don't even know Carolina's backup quarterback. Kyle, that's it. Yeah, I keep wanting to say Josh Allen. Jesus criminy. I know I don't know jack shit. Next up, we have the Broncos and the Chargers. I'm not going to say this is going to be a wash, but again, it's Joe Flacco. Garbage. I'm taking the Chargers over the Broncos.
I'm picking the Broncos because I think they're going to play Drew Lock. I mean, like I said earlier, all the backups are playing phenomenal. And we have the Jaguars and the the Panthers that have both backups that have been doing really well. So just throw Drew Lock in there, you'll be fine.
Yep, we've been mentioning that now for a couple weeks now. They need to figure it out. I've been dying to see Drew Lock because, I mean, I watched him in the playoffs or not the playoffs. Really, come on, get with it. I've watched him in the preseason. I love this cat. This cat is explosive, and he can throw that ball too. So yeah, they need to make a decision. I personally am on the same boat with you. They need to start Drew Lock and sit Flacco, or they're just flat out get rid of him for all I care. Doesn't matter to me. He sucks anyway. You got to do what you got to do to win. Throw Lock in. Definitely. I love this kid, and I'm curious to see where he's going to go with it. Next up, it's another game to watch. The Packers and Cowboys. Ooh, that's going to be a tough call on that one, but I think the Cowboys are going to just barely get by. Like I said, you can say all you want about Aaron Rodgers again, but he's playing good football. He's been consistent the past few weeks. So I'm still sticking with the Cowboys.
I'm sticking with the Cowboys as well. I think their defense is better. I think their defense does a better job at containing the quarterback, which will make Aaron Rodgers have to throw instead of making plays with his legs. And with Devontae Adams out, Valdez Scantling is really fast, and he does a really good job. But outside of that, another problem is the resurgence of Jimmy Graham for no reason. Coming out, ripping the ball away from defenders. I'm picking the Cowboys because to me, it's really not Aaron Rodgers this year that's making plays. It's everyone else. Like, Jimmy Graham, both of his touchdown catches have been from ripping the ball away from defenders that would have been interceptions. But I give it to the Cowboys, not because I like the Cowboys, but because they're just a little better than the Packers.
Fair enough. Next up, we have the Colts and the Chiefs. Again, we're gonna get into the Chiefs Lions game momentarily, but I am still sticking with the Chiefs. Like I said, they lacked and made a lot of mistakes against the Lions on Sunday. They gave 3 fumbles in the third quarter, but we'll get into all that when we go more in depth. I'm going to call it Lions Corner when we get there. I can't use Lions Den because that's already been used, and I don't want to get sued. But with how well the Lions hung with the Chiefs, you got a Colts team coming in who I think is level with the Lions, to be honest with you, with the way the Colts have been playing. But I think the Chiefs are going to bounce back, get the bad taste out of their mouth over the Lions game. I'm still picking the Chiefs over the Colts.
Yeah, I'm picking the Colts because I don't know. I feel as if their defense is going to take that leap. I feel as if I agree with you. I think the Colts and the Lions are almost par with each other. And if the Lions can beat them, why can't the Colts? The Lions can almost beat them. Why can't the Colts beat them?
I was just getting ready to say I think you need to backtrack on that one. Oh, and finally on Monday night, It depends on which Baker Mayfield we're going to get, because this is going to be another good matchup on Monday night. The Browns and the Niners. Ooh, but again, the Browns are not consistent. You know, I mean, you killed it. If Nick Chubb can have another game like he did yesterday, look out, 49ers. You might be 4-1 at the end of Monday Night Football. But I'm sticking with the Niners. I am a Garoppolo fan now. I'm loving this 49ers team, and if they keep this up, they are definitely going to take the NFC West, in my opinion. Absolutely. I'm loving this Niners team, and it's about time, because I'm missing the Montana days, the young days, back when they were 12-4, going into the Super Bowl. Might have a shot here. I really do with this 49ers team. So, like I said, the Browns are just not consistent enough for me to pick the Browns in this one. So I'm going with the Niners on Monday night.
Niners as well. Because exactly how I called it, the 49ers front seven has been phenomenal. The pickup of Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner and a couple other players I can't think of at the moment because I'm a little exhausted from work. But, oh man, that defense is just phenomenal. And I don't see Nick Chubb being able to break through that defensive line like he has been the past couple of weeks. But I still think it's a good game, but I have the 49ers winning.
All right, and there you go. Those are our Week 5 picks. And the bye week for the team that on bye this week are the Lions, the Dolphins. There's a couple more, but at least the Dolphins can finally get a break. Maybe they'll come. You never know. They might come back and fucking go undefeated. Yeah, go 12-4. Right? All right. So we are already over an hour, almost an hour and 10. But once you get the editing down, I'm sure it'll be. But we'll edit that part out too. So there's only one thing left. We're gonna enter Lions Corner. Danny's been waiting for this forever, because he even messaged me the other day. It's like, we really need to do an episode all about the Lions. I'm tired of being unbiased. So we're gonna talk about the Lions. So for all of you Michiganders or Lions fans all over around the world, welcome to Lions Corner. Yeah, there you go. Okay, where do we? You know what? I'm gonna let you start off. You want to do it? So I'm gonna let you start off with Lions Corner. So Danny, take it away.
Thank you, Larry. That game was phenomenal. Anyway, regardless of busting your eardrums, that game against the Chiefs was really a testament to how Matt Patricia has sculpted this Lions team. I think he's done a phenomenal job. Last year was a little... Now, it's still early this year, but the fact that they were able to stand toe-to-toe with possibly the best team in the NFL, and everyone has them going to the Super Bowl with an MVP player in, Patrick Mahomes, the Lions still stood in there and threw everything right back out. Heck, they went 10-0 at the beginning of the game before the Chiefs couldn't even think about what was going on. And then, yes, by halftime it was 13-13, but after that, it was just back and forth, back and forth. Just like Larry said earlier, the third quarter was just bizarre. There were so many fumbles, so many different calls, so many different things happening, so many no calls, so many face masks, so many pass interference calls in just the third quarter. And then there was that one play where Kerryon Johnson was trying to reach over the goal line for a touchdown, rushing, and the ball, got knocked out of his hands. It went outside of the pile, and Breland picked the ball up, ran around Kenny Galladay, who, did the little, I'm going to get you, thing. And instead of touching him, he just kind of, jumped at him. And it's like, if he were, and that led to a touchdown. One of the most bizarre touchdowns I've ever seen. Okay, one of those, oh, well, I got the ball. I'm just going to run it for a touchdown for fun. And it turns out it wasn't for fun. It was for a touchdown. And, that really shocked me because the whistle wasn't blown, and the ref saw everything, and honestly, when I was watching the replay, I was like, well, yeah, his helmet hit first, but when you actually look at the replay, you see that the ball is knocked out of his hands before his helmet hit the ground. And the fact that Breland had such a heads-up play right there, the fact that the referee called it right, but the biggest thing that makes me upset is the fact that Kenny Galladay did not put his hands on him. Okay? No, he went, he did the little, and even if that play, it like everyone does it, after a play, you hit the ground, everyone knows the ball, the play's dead, the whistle's blown, but people still pick it up anyway. And the fact that one of those plays turned into a touchdown is just so bizarre to me.
Well, the reason why it went down like that, everybody on the field thought it was dead. But there was no whistle. They weren't paying attention to that. That's the issue. And it reminds me, I got this shoot up. I want to see if we can put this video up on, attach it to this show, because there was a play that I remember very well. This isn't the first time for me I've seen something like this. This was the Los Angeles Rams and the New Orleans Saints, October 23rd, 1994. It was a kick return, or I think it was something like that. I'm going to put the video up. It was something along that lines. It wasn't a fumble, but it was. Everybody thought the play was dead. It was a kick, I think, or a punt, one of the two. And everybody was walking off the field. They thought it was down, and the Los Angeles Rams came back and ran it for a touchdown, 102 yards. It's like that's what it reminded me of when I saw that. But again, that's why they always coach you when you're in the NFL, playing until you hear a whistle. That touchdown shouldn't have never happened, and we should have won that game. That should have been 7 points knocked off the board, and we would have won it, 34 or 30-23? We would have won that game. So, but unfortunately, things happen because, well, it's the Lions. It happens in every game. There's always a controversy somewhere. And, I've been watching the Lions for over 20 years. And this has been one of the weirdest but yet most exciting Lions games I've ever seen in my entire life. I love what they're doing. They're getting better each week. And just to be able to hang with the Kansas City Chiefs, who, in my opinion, won this game because of that damn fumble for that 100-yard touchdown run. The Lions had this game. And they would have been, 3-0-1 going into the bye week. I think the Lions took the Chiefs. But unfortunately, it doesn't play out that way. There's some non-calls that were missed that should have been. But unfortunately, I can't, it's done. It's over and done. There's nothing you can do about it now. But again, it's the whole, and I hate bringing this up every week, but it's the truth. Every time the Lions go into the second half, they don't play as well as they did in the first. It's reversed from last season. If you watched last season, the Lions were always off to the slow start, getting 2 field goals in the first half, and then they start picking it up in the second half. They start making that comeback. Like I said, Matthew Stafford still. I think he holds the record for most fourth quarter comebacks, next to Aaron Rodgers. I don't remember, but anyway, I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, I mean, now it's like they're coming out strong. They're scoring touchdowns. They're putting points on the board in the first half. Even, when you go up 21-10 and going at halftime and you win the game 28-27, there's no excuse for that. You need to be playing the same level in the first half and the second half together. I know you get tired. I understand that. Nobody's Superman. But when it's every game, you're losing that balance in the second half, and you're squeaking out wins. I mean, I'm not saying the Lions should go out there every week and win every game 41-10. It's not like that, and it shouldn't be like that. But it needs to be more decisive. I'm getting sick and tired of saying, "Oh, the Lions squeaked that one out. Oh, the Lions squeaked that one out. We barely won that one." That's because I don't know what happens in between halves. We see a totally different Lions team come out in the second half. I mean, they were better this week. Just to be able to say, hey, we put 30 points on the board against one of the best, the best team in the NFL. 30 points against the Chiefs. I mean, that's got to say something. I thought Stafford played well. Kerryon Johnson was just on fire. I think he ended with, 140 yards? 125? Something like 125, 130, something like that. He was on fire. Oh, yeah. And, of course, the injury to T.J. Hawkinson, that was a major blow right there. So I haven't seen an update on his condition yet. I know he went into concussion protocol, but here's the thing I need to say about today's NFL. You got to stop leaping. You have to stop leaping. It's completely different than from 20 years ago. I mean, back when not that they didn't care about safety, but this was all back when, when I was in my teens and my younger years, when it was basically smash mouth football. Clothesline a guy, you clothesline a guy. There's no flag. It's football, But it took me back to the way T.J. Hawkinson landed. It almost scared me because it takes me back to, I want to say it was 1991 or 1992, in the Buffalo Bills game, when Don Beebe decided to leap, and he ended up getting flipped upside down and landed straight on his head. And thankfully, he walked away from that one. You could have been damn near paralyzed, like Mike Utley. So, you guys need to stop jumping. I understand you're trying to hurdle over a defender, whatever. But when you jump like that, and he's damn near standing straight up, you're going to get hurt. They need to stop that. I don't like that. It happened twice in that game. One on each side. You guys are getting risky. I mean, it's your bodies. I understand that. But when you get flipped over like that, and you get flipped on your head, and you got a broken neck, and you're paralyzed from the neck down, no. Rethink your strategies. If that wouldn't have happened, again, I think the Lions could have pulled it off. T.J. Hawkinson was having one heck of a game. And if it weren't for that leap, like I said, it's always the what ifs with the Lions. Always, what if this happened? What if this didn't happen? You know, the Lions had this game, and it's a bummer that they lost it because they had it. They won this game. They had the best of the Chiefs. They held Patrick Mahomes to only 120 yards passing in the first half with no touchdowns. This was one of the best Lions games I've ever seen and the best the Lions have played in a long time. They're finally getting their stride, and I just hope they continue. They work on their bye week, get to work, figure shit out. You got the Packers coming up next in Green Bay. So I'm hoping, you get your break, work on what you need to, come out on fire, and let's improve. I would be happy with 10-6. I mean, 11-5 would be better, but I'd be happy with 10-6. I'm tired of seeing 9-7 or 7-9, the way it has been for the past few years. It's 9-7, 9-7, 7-9, 6-10. It's time. I feel it, especially after watching yesterday's game. I really think like I said, just being able to hang with the best. You hung with the best, but you didn't beat the best. You have to beat the best to be the best. That's one thing that I've always, back at like Ric Flair. To be the man, you got to beat the man. But to be the best, you got to beat the best. The Lions did that. They got screwed. I'm not trying to make excuses, because I can hear our friend Paige right now. I'm not making excuses. I still don't like the fumble call in the end zone. It wasn't decisive. I forget what the announcer said, because it was the same officiating team that did the same thing last week. I want to say it was the Green Bay game or some fumble that they ran. It's the same guys that did it. The same guys officiated this game that they did last week, where one team got screwed over too. I watched that replay over and over and over. Even when they weren't showing on TV, I went on YouTube. When it got posted, I kept looking back. He was down before the ball came out. His shoulder was down. If you really look at it, Kerryon Johnson's shoulder was on the ground before the ball popped out. But even so, there was no whistle when there should have been. The play was over. They should have whistled it dead. And they didn't. So it's officiating here. So I don't know. They're improving, which I like. But again, I still think, in my opinion, the Lions took down the Chiefs Sunday. That should have been a win for us. If it wasn't for that damn 100-yard touchdown, because nobody wanted to keep playing the ball. It's fundamentals, though. You keep playing until you hear a whistle. And everybody just standing around. Galladay was right there. You could have tackled him in the end zone. You play until you hear a whistle.
I mean, from what I saw, I didn't see that his shoulder was down, but regardless, with a pile like that, it still should have been down. I mean, I don't know why the ref didn't call it. I don't know what the ref saw. I mean, maybe he saw the amount of money that the Chiefs gave him, but, and then Kenny Galladay, for as much as he does extra for the team, that was so dumb. When you pretend you're going to hit someone, you're like, what? That's what he did. And it's like, even if the person's playing around, it's like, you didn't hear a whistle, so just tap the person, stop them. Like, go for it. It's okay. I don't know if, they'll ever hear this, but it's like, I was always taught you play past the whistle. So even if the whistle is blown, you keep going just in case. Because sometimes the whistle was blown and it was still a fumble. They run it, they may not get the touchdown, but they get the possession because even though they blew the whistle, uh, there's been times where they've given the other team the ball because they had possession even after the whistle. So even if you hear that whistle, like you see someone running, you get them right away. It doesn't matter. I mean, that could just be another player just whistling. You really just don't ever know. You don't know if that's one of the fans blowing a whistle in the stands. So in my opinion, it's like that should have definitely been this person's running with the football. I should go after them just because. Just because you never know what could happen. And, I also agree with the whole leaping thing. If the defender is low enough and it looks like they're trying to get you with their head and their head is down, then yeah, jump over them. But, Logan Thomas, he did a good job this game, but he tried leaping over a defender and the defender was standing straight up, and you can't do that. That causes injuries. I was at the bar and I was hearing this one guy talking about how you leave your feet. Anytime you leave your feet, you got a chance to get really hurt, and that's the truth. I mean, when you jump up in the air, you're either going to land fine or you're going to land awkwardly. You jump up really high in the air, you're probably going to hurt yourself, and you try to jump over two defenders that are standing straight up, you're probably going to get twisted around and land on your head. He's a great athlete. He was a great pick, but that was a dumb move, and I really think maybe even the NFL as a whole needs to limit the amount of leaps. I don't know how they would do it, but NFL coaches need to teach hey, if the head's down, jump. If they're standing straight up, don't jump over them. Punch your shoulder into them. Run them over. TJ could have done that. He had the first down. That was the thing, too. It was 1st and 10. Stafford threw it to him, and it was first down again. He didn't have to jump over them for anything. He could have just caught it and fell down, and they would have had another first down. But what I really want to talk about, though, is just real quick. And, I'll let Larry finish up with whatever he has. But Kenny Galladay made 2 great touchdown catches, and there should have been a third, but unfortunately, for some reason, he had it completely in his possession. And for some reason, because the camera angle showed it that it moved across, he had it secured, okay? And one of the rules is the ground can't cause a fumble, which means it can't also give you an incomplete pass. He had control of it, and it just shifted over in his body. You can see that it shifted over because he hit the ground so hard. It's not because he didn't have control. It's because he hit the ground so hard, but he still had the ball. He still did not let it move. And the fact that they reversed that, I mean, yes, he came back and he had that phenomenal toe drag. Okay, that holy cow. He's not Calvin, but he's Kenny freaking Galladay. But that should not have been an incomplete pass. That should have been a touchdown. That's basically how the whole game went. It was like, the referee, And my last words for this is just I'm going to be very biased, but the Lions look like a playoff team. Back to you, Larry.
Oh, absolutely. And that was one thing I totally forgot, too. So now, go by this. Either way you look at it, the Lions would have won this game regardless. You take away the touchdown from the fumble, right? Because, like I said, that should have been whistled dead. They didn't whistle. There was no whistle. That should have been a touchdown. That should have been whistled. Once that pile started getting high, it's an automatic whistle. Every time. It's normal. It's every game. When you see a enormous pile up, they blow the whistle. There was no whistle, right? So that's 27, not 34, right? So that's 27 on the Chiefs, minus that touchdown, okay? Right? You add that Lions touchdown that Galladay had. Sure, it moved. So what? He had possession. He had control. Both feet were in. That was a touchdown. That would have been 37-27 Lions. Game over. Either way you look at it, the Lions had this game won. But anyway, it is what it is. The Lions lost, but they played their hearts out. They were there and they played hard. I'm blaming this loss on the refs as the majority of the time because they don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. Oops, God damn it, I did it again. I'm trying to watch it. I am. I'm really trying. But I get so frustrated because every Lions home game, there's controversy. Every home game so far this year, there's controversy. This is because these stupid referees. The referees blew this win for the Lions, hands down. And now they're also saying, oh, now the hardest part of the season's over. Bull. I'm calling bull right now. I got it right in front of me. In their next 5 games, they have 3 NFC North matchups. 3 division games in 5. We come back in Green Bay. We're at home against the Vikings. We're at home against the Giants. We go to Los Angeles and play the Raiders. And then we go to Chicago. How is this section easier than the first 4 games? I think this next 5 is harder. Yeah. You got 3 NFC North matchups. You got 3 teams in your division that you have to beat. You're facing all 3 of them in 5 weeks. 3 NFC North matchups. 3 divisional games in 5. Packers, Vikings, and Bears. So, actually, you know what? Let's go through the remaining schedule. I know we're going to be talking about it anyway, but I'm calling bullshit on this schedule's hard. The first half was the hardest part. No, it's not. Starting off Monday night in Green Bay after the bye week. Then you're at home against the Vikings. You're at home against the Giants. You're on the road against the Raiders. You're on the road against the Bears. You're at home against the Cowboys. You're on the road against Washington. That should be no problem there. And then you got the Bears again at home. The Vikings again on the road. And the Buccaneers at home. The Broncos on the road. And the Packers at home. The second half is going to be worse than the first half. I don't understand how these guys are saying that, oh, it's going to get easier for the Lions after the bye week. Bullshit. It's going to be harder, especially going on a week 5. That's another thing that I don't understand with the Lions. Why do we get such early buys every year? I know. Week 4, week 5, week 3. And then you got to play your ass off for the next 14 weeks. I don't like that. That's another thing they need to do too. The NFL, not only are they trying to, they're trying to lower the preseason games to expand the regular seasons and playoffs. I understand that, but if you're going to do it that way, you're either going to have it where everybody's off a week. you pick the week, there's no football that week, or something along that line, so where it's fair. Because when you're going in at a crucial time, let's say the Lions are 10-4, okay, with 2 games to go, right? But they just had their bye week the week before, right? So that's week 13 bye week, right? Playing, I don't know, the Washington Redskins, who are 11-3, but had their bye week, or not 11-3, but it shows you the difference. But their bye week was week 4. Who's going to be more rested? It'd be the Lions. They just had their bye week. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, the Redskins have been playing for the past 11 weeks straight. You get what I'm saying? I don't like the way they do bye weeks. I really don't. Because it's not fair. That gives the late teams an advantage. Teams that don't have byes till week 11, week 12, especially ones that are making playoff runs. That's an advantage. And I don't like that. It's not fair. It should be fair all the way across the board. So if you're going to drop preseason games to expand the regular season, you're going to have more teams in the playoffs now. You're going to have 2 wild card games each instead of just 1 wild card each. So your playoff's going to be expanded. The Super Bowl is going to have to get pushed forward to another date in February. You're also going to have to make sure that the bye weeks are even. It's just not fair. That's one thing that I've always complained about as long as I've been watching football. The bye weeks aren't fair. They're not justified. Because if you're let's say your bye week is week 10 and my bye week is week 4, who's going to have the advantage come the stretch when we meet? You automatically have that because you're coming off a bye week. Me, I've been playing for fucking 6 weeks already. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's just not right, especially with teams that are in the playoff hunt. You know what I'm saying? And that's another spot where we get burned. Because we always have our bye week early in the year, and it's just not right. So either A, and I'm talking to the NFL head honchos on this, you sons of bitches, you're either going to have to get every team the same bye every week, or 1 week where everybody's off. So that way they all can all come back rested and ready to go. Or you're going to have to split it up and have 2 bye weeks to make things fair. That is one of my biggest not concerns, but one of my biggest pet peeves is the way they do the bye weeks. It's just not right. When you got a team that's been playing for 10 weeks straight versus a team that you get what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. I don't like it, and I never will unless they figure it out. They want to expand the season, you're going to have to do better on the bye weeks. Because there's just no way in hell it's going to be possible especially for not even a playoff contender, someone who's kind of like on the bubble, trying to make it to that level, but you're giving them a week 4 friggin' bye week. So you got 11 weeks, 12 weeks that you got to play nonstop every week, nonstop to the end of the season. So now after next week is over, we got to go all the way to the middle of December. That's just not fair. That's any team. Like starting last week, it wasn't right for them. I don't remember what teams were on bye. I think it was the Jets and somebody else. And even this week, the Lions, it's too early. Bye week should start at the halfway point. So I say week 8, when everybody is even, week 8, cut it. Cut it off for the week. That next week, everybody's off for the bye. And then they come back for week 9. That's my personal opinion. But I'm going to close this out by saying that the Lions did a much better job this week. Because this game was the key factor in how this season's going to go. That's what it was. This was not a test. This was the real deal to see if the Lions can be as good as we would like them to be. And I was very impressed with the way they handled themselves. 34-30. You got screwed again by the referees, as always, at every home game. The Lions had this game won. I'm not making excuses, so I don't want to. I'm not trying to start anything here, but the Lions are always. There's always controversy surrounding the Lions, no matter what. Every game, there's always controversy with the Lions. The Lions had this won. I'm very impressed with the way they handled themselves. Their defense was, oh my God, they were on it. But again, they're doing that whole first half, second half. They slipped up that second half. They weren't playing as tight as they were in the first half, but they covered it well, forcing 3 fumbles in the third quarter. But I want to say, I mean, they are every year we keep saying the same thing. Every year the Lions are a playoff team. Every single year. We are. We have the skill. We have the talent. We have what it takes to make it to the playoffs every single year. But again, it's just something always happens where it doesn't happen. And like I said, our second half is horrible. Our second half is worse than the first half. I don't know why these experts are over here and all these commentators saying, "Oh, after the Lions bye week, it's going to get easier." Really? Like I said before, 3 of our 5 out of our next 5 games are division matchups, games that we have to win. And the Cowboys, really? I don't know. I want to say, I really want to say Lions are going to go to the playoffs. I can't. I can't say that. I want to, but I can't. See, but watching them being able to hang with the Chargers the way they did, they played damn fine football. I was very impressed. So I don't know. We'll have to discuss that situation when we're at the halfway mark. Once we get to week 9, things will start falling into place. I mean, not just for the Lions, but for the whole NFL. The playoff picture is going to start really taking shape come week 9. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I really hope we sweep our division with the 3 out of 5 games. I really hope we take them all. We have the opportunity to. Minnesota's playing like shit. Green Bay's playing, or Chicago's playing like shit, even though they're still winning. But they're Mitchell Trubisky being out now. We have an opportunity. Like I said, the only threat really is Green Bay right now, but even that's on kilter. You know? So, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. So, Lions, get your rest. Get practicing, because you got a long road ahead. And it's not going to be easy. And for all those experts, you don't know what you're talking about on how, it's easier. I keep repeating myself. I can't help it because I'm just so frustrated. These people get paid all this money. They got degrees and shit, and we know more than they do. How can y'all sit there and say that the hardest part's over? The Lions have the second hardest schedule in the NFL. All 16 games this year, it's not easy. So every game is gonna be a battle. It's gotta be a battle. You guys have to be able to come out and fight for 4 quarters, not just 2, 4. That is my main sticking point with these Lions right now. If they can stay strong in the second half, they'll be all right. Because I'm watching their first half, and their first half they're putting up 20 points, 21 points, 27, 28. You're scoring. but you're not holding it. You're falling down. Your defense is playing like you're lacking the defense in that second half. They're playing too loose because they're getting comfortable. Oh, we got a 28-point lead. That don't mean shit. Do I need to bring up the 91 AFC Championship game? The Houston Oilers versus the Buffalo Bills, where the Houston Oilers came back from 35 points. Or Buffalo came back from 35 points. So came back to win. Either way, it was like a 38-point deficit. You guys need to play tough every down, every quarter, every half. You can't stop. So we'll see what happens. Enjoy your bye week. You guys have been playing some damn good football. You deserve the rest. So 2-1-1. I mean, I really can't complain about that. Well, 4-0. 4-0. We should be 4-0. And that's not me being biased, because me and Danny are on different sides of Lions fans. But I agree with Danny on this. We should be 4-0 right now going into the bye week. But unfortunately, we're 2-1-1. But I'm really hoping. So we'll see. They deserve the rest. They've been playing their hearts out. Now y'all just need to work on your second half defense. If you get your second half defense under control, we'll be all right. Yep. Because you guys are on fire in that first half. You're stopping everything. But then you start lacking. You start slacking off. You start playing people loose. They're going to burn you every time. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. It's going to be a very exciting, well, not second half, but technically second half, because our bye week is always so early. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble anymore. We're already at, holy shit, an hour and 50 seconds. 1 hour and 50 minutes, but a lot of this has to get cut. Yep. So I don't know when this episode will be out. I'm assuming probably Wednesday or Thursday, because I know Danny's going to have to go through it and get rid of all that dead air and all this issues we had earlier. But anyway, we're going to call it a night. We will talk to you guys next week. And until then, I'm Larry Szynski.
And I'm Danny Waiter, telling you to take it for a touchdown. Have a good